Happy Halloween! Today's topic is
Zombies.
oy vey. So first of all, zombies are scientifically impossible. There's no freaking way unless you have some kind of quantum animation bug or non-linear thing to keep a corpse moving, because rigor mortis sets in within 12 hours, right?
Right.
So there ain't no
And
way
they
those-
walk around all half rotted with their
or running.
so
and-
no, yeah,
Plus-
it is so far-fetched, but it still makes for some great storytelling.
So there was a scientist in the 15th century, some mathematician. I read this in a book, and he was working on a way for reanimation through math, and that's all we ever heard of it. That was it. It was in one of those books that you sit on the back of the bathroom.
And I don't know if you've ever seen The Serpent in the Rainbow,
No.
about the zombie dust in Africa.
No.
Oh, that was a trip. It's Wes Craven.
Oh.
Oh, we're going to have to do a first watch with him on that one,
Yeah.
because it is about like real world shit where, zombie dust.
Now, and there's also the Floridians that huff or eat bath salts or drink bath salts, and they became zombies. Then there is the theory that there is a zombie virus that the government keeping locked off, or misinformation.
Okay, so you just mentioned, what was it, 1500s?
1500s, yes, mathematician, I believe, if memory serves.
Okay, so what was our first contemporary outside like the Mummy? Because technically the Mummy would be a zombie, right?
Well, and wouldn't Frankenstein reanimated corpse?
Yeah, and reanimated.
And then our Dracula's, oh God, our vampires zombies, because they're undead,
Yeah, but they're not
rotting.
like undead, like they're not like zombies. No.
I'm just asking the question, because like you always see the king's vampire and he's some withered old husk, so it just
Yeah, but the way they sustain themselves with the human blood, and the zombies want brains, and it's just different.
so how do the brains
And
work?
the zombies are mindless, and
Yes.
and vampires are not.
Right.
So there's a difference. But and we're gonna get into the vampire
We're
thing
gonna get
too.
into all of that.
But
So
so what was our first reference to zombies in contemporary like culture?
the black and white,
For me, it was Night of the Living Dead. Yes,
I believe.
that movie fucked me up when I was a kid.
No, I never saw it, but I was watching a Halloween special thing, blah blah blah, and these two guys, they were sitting in back of
Yeah,
the house, not Addams Family, but Psycho,
The
the Psycho House.
yes.
And they were talking about how this psychologist said that movie was based on unfulfilled or repressed desire for oral copulation. That's what that movie was all about, Night of the Living Dead. And I was like, what? What in Sam Spade are you fucking talking about?
Right.
That is insane.
Wow. That's reaching. I mean, that's somebody with Freudian
Woo!
complex or
Oh
some
my,
shit.
yeah.
But no, Night of the Living Dead, I saw when I was about 10. And my older brother and my cousin, I stayed up and watched it with them on the Creature Feature one weekend. And I'm not shitting you, man. I saw zombie arms coming through my windows for months
Wow.
after that movie. And, I mean, if you look at it now,
As the Zegler would say, Rachel Zegler, it's dated.
it is, but as a 10-year-old kid,
Oh, piss your pants.
oh, dude, it fucked me up.
So, all right. So my experience.
And then, of course, George Romero, when Day of the Dead came out in the late 70s, I didn't get to see it in the theater, but when I saw it, oh my God, the gore and the makeup effects in that were groundbreaking. When the zombie stood up on the box and got the top of his head cut off by the helicopter blade, that was wow! Never seen nothing like it. And then when the dude got torn in half and they were all going to town and eating his guts, wow! You never seen nothing like it.
So my first experience in the horror genre was being 4 years old, and my dad saying, "Oh, hey, there's this Alien movie
Mm-hmm.
on TV. You should watch it tonight." It was Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
It was Alien.
Whew.
I saw the.
You saw that when you were 4.
Yes.
I saw it in the theater, and I think I was 14, and yeah, dude.
So no, I still can't watch that
Wow.
movie. And then the next thing was Zombies, but it was Thriller, because we stayed up that night to watch it because of the big premiere.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as I saw Michael Jackson all decked out in his zombie shit, I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm to bed.
And Thriller, directed by John Landis,
Yeah.
the guy who directed Heavy Metal
And
American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
And yeah.
so that's
and then from there, you know, we got the George Romero, the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and then he did his Day of the Dead,
but then
which was funny. Okay, piece of useless trivia for you. The one doctor in it that was trying to see if he could communicate with the zombies was Dr. Logan, and the zombie's name was Bub. Logan and Bub, get it? X-Men, Logan and Bub.
oh Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Okay, well,
He
anyway.
didn't get it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, the Obscura, I
it just
can't. Yeah.
woo
Warp 10.
over the head. But
And,
anyway, I just always wondered if that was actually a real, you know, homage to Wolverine and how he always called everybody Bub. Anyway, that's just that's a little sideline. And then we get the Return of the Living Dead.
Yes, which is, I've actually sat through it, and it is actually the creepiest part was when he was in the little canister,
Yeah.
Bubbles or whatever they called him, and then, but a little creepier than that was the half-cut dogs
Yeah.
in the moving around. And then these zombies were smart. They were calling for backup.
Yeah, and they didn't die by smashing their heads in or whatever.
Because movies lie.
You know, because in the movie, you kill the brain, you kill the ghoul, right?
Movies lie.
But the movie lied, you know.
And then also, it got a zombie to talk.
Yeah,
That was interesting. And then good special effects.
yeah. And
I
just
kinda-
lighthearted and
I liked how it ended.
They didn't have to take it serious, and you know, because
I
some
really
of the
like
other
how
things.
I really like how it ended. It just, that's it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of books, and well, I guess we'll talk about the Walking Dead, which is
and The Walking Dead. We'll get to it, but then you get to World War Z, where those things are just like they're not just lumbering along. They're sprinting at you.
Before World War Z was 28 Days Later,
That too, yes.
and there's always a lot of like smaller budget attempted
yeah.
grindhouse films.
I mean, you ever see zombie strippers? I mean, come
I
on.
have. Yes.
Yes.
That is great.
And
It's gross because you can smell
oh
the theater, but you know.
yeah.
I forgot about that one.
And
but
then-
I bought it. I even bought it because the racist LeVar Burton was in it. And that was a bad movie. It was terrible. I mean, just horrible. It's just god awful. But yeah, zombie strippers. I forgot about that one.
yeah.
And
then oh god.
but 28 Days Later kind of bothered me because it's like, why are they moving so fast? They shouldn't be moving fast. I like the helicopter thing where it goes do 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 do.
Yeah.
And then I saw 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah.
And the problem I have with that one is, so you have these people watching, you know, anybody going outside of the safe area, right?
Yeah.
I don't care whose kid it is. Would have put a bullet through his head like a pumpkin. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because that's how it broke out again.
And then of course, you know, before we get into The Walking Dead, because it's its own subject, but Zombieland.
Oh yeah, it was
Zombieland,
great. Great
man.
movie.
And oh yeah, it was really good. And
But the remake of the Dawn of the Dead,
yes,
that I didn't like that one.
no, it didn't need to be remade.
It was just kind of gratuitous, and like any child like waking your ass up on a Saturday morning, whether they got blood dribbling out their mouth or whatever, tell them to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it just,
But I mean, George Romero really
Yeah.
he set the standard, and if it doesn't measure up to George Romero, it just isn't. It
but I didn't like the one that he did with, what was it, the one he did in the 2000s, The City, where it was the island on the city, and they had, and then the zombies went underwater to. Oh yeah, it was the latest one, and then they had this
Was
zombie.
that a continuation of his?
Yeah, and it was.
I don't think I ever saw that.
And,
No, Day of the Dead was the last one.
Oh no, this was like I don't know, and they had this chick in a bra and panties, but she was a zombie, and so they had a cage on her head. And what kind of kink shit is that? And then there was one. What was the one with Dr. Bashir and the gal from Boston Legal, the honeypot that was the model for Tomb Raider? That was a good one. That was interesting. I can't remember, but I'm like, oh yeah, that was an interesting one. So there's a lot of zombie movies, and I guess if you're into it,
And I mean, when you get to The Walking Dead, and we're not going to belabor it, but one of the things about it is it was total zombies.
and
But they never called them that. They never used the term zombie, and
Is
that
it
was
like-
one of the things that a lot of the people that were fond of it were appreciated.
see, I didn't like it just because it was contrived, super contrived. Because how does that guy wake up in a hospital, infected with zombies, and they don't eat him? I'm just saying. And then, the zombies can smell, so they had to cover themselves with this stuff, and then it becomes this virus that everybody's infected anyway. So wouldn't you all be technically dying anyway? So when it tried to get too scientific is when it flew itself apart, because I just couldn't buy into the excuses or the explanations. I just
But, counterpoint to that, Walking Dead was very character driven and really well acted, full of really good people that were really, believable, and their whole struggle for survival
But,
was
all right,
compelling
there you
enough
go.
to be as popular as it was.
A struggle for survival. Well, I think a lot of people have a wet dream about the apocalypse. And, what I'm going to do. Like, I had this conversation at the comic book store. What do you do if there's a zombie apocalypse? I'm going to carry me a shotgun and ooh-da-boo-da-boo. I go, no,
All right.
bitches. I'm going to have a 50 caliber rifle. It's sexier than the handgun, but it'll put a hole through you.
I'm going to digress for a second, because I tell people all the time, quit worrying about the zombie apocalypse that's never going to happen, and start taking on the douchebag apocalypse that's already upon us.
Thank you.
Douchebags are fucking everywhere, and that's
And then-
just a joke. But I mean,
Not really. He's only half joking.
I'm half joking again.
So, and then the other thing is like Day of the Dead. It's a hot son of a bitch out there.
Yeah.
Flies are gonna breed, and they're gonna eventually just break down.
They're going to be maggot infested.
Yeah, and they're gonna be less mobile, and it's just. So I just have a problem with the whole concept. I know, and like if you really want to get rid of them, just light them on fire.
But again, it is a work of fiction.
I know.
It is not necessarily meant to be taken as realistic or anything that could really happen. It does require a certain suspension of disbelief.
I guess that's
And
just the
if
bridge
you-
too far for me.
Right. If you cannot buy into it, then
It just doesn't work for you.
it doesn't work for you. And nothing wrong with that. Again, no accounting for taste.
Really?
If it's not to your taste, then so what?
Yeah, exactly.
Really? I mean, that's just
There was a friend of mine, her grandson loves the zombies and blah 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 blah, and he was a kid, and I'm just like, really? I mean, you're
I
Spanish.
mean, no, the
you're-
zombie
you're-
people, they love the whole zombie thing.
You're Spanish descent, and I know you got the Day of the Dead and all that stuff, and that's much cooler than zombies. And then he eventually grew out of it, so I'm like, oh, okay, good. So this too shall pass.
Right. So, I mean, just zombies in our culture, they're going to be there. And
Although I actually do like the X-Files episode, Insanity Shared by Two. I can't say it quite right.
Oh, yeah.
Flocks, yeah. Anyway, that
But-
was a cool one.
I mean, really, if you are interested in like real world zombies, highly recommend Serpent in the Rainbow, man. It's a trip, because it really does address like real like African mysticism and zombie like reanimating after you're dead is trippy.
Wow. So that's
Wes Craven. It's a really good flick. And I guess on that happy note, comment. Tell us what you think of the zombies, and start a conversation, man. We're into that. We'll reply, and we will read your comments. And as always, like, share, and subscribe.
good night.